Graham Bailey in the Celica as we watch Alan Grice's BMW being put into place. He's in car number 51, and alongside him is Colin Bond in car 31, the first of the Masterton Holmes Capris. On the next row of the grid, Steve Marston in car 32 has Alan Grice alongside him. He just saw Grice being pushed back. Terry Shield in car 96, the Mazda, has Bob Morris in the Sutton's Motors Isuzu, the Gemini car, which did so well in the earlier race. Peter Williamson is behind him in car number 77 in the Celica, the green Celica. You can see just tucked in behind the Terry Shield car.
10 seconds.
Phil Alexander alongside him, Tony Cabbage, Peter Dane, Phil Parsons, Bob Holden in a field of 20 cars. It's Daly who's just made slightly the better off the mark, but once the car gets wound up, it's Barry Jones in the rotary engine Mazda that's going, and on the outside the field pouring through there. Be a whole batch of cars going across the top. Alan Grice, I think, in the BMW made a lot of ground there. It's the biggest engine car there, but still relatively undeveloped, but he really gave it the gun up the hill. Little Alpha Sud of Paul Jones trailing the field there, the last 20 cars, the position in which he departed from the grid, and a very tight field of 20 cars leads on the first of 15 laps. The better brakes under 3.5 litre Touring Car Series, round one for 1981, and it's the new Mazda RX-7 of the man who did so well last year, Barry Jones. Terry Daly right on his heel, Colin Bond coming up behind him, and Alan Grice right behind him in the field in single file right round there as they head up Phillip Straight. It's Jones.
So this is the man that won the final round of the series here last year in the RX-3. Didn't win the series though, that was Barry Seaton's privilege. But Barry Jones now in the RX-7 in the lead.
Alan Grice making a lot of ground up the hill with the bigger engine of the Mazda, with the BMW rather, is making itself felt, and he's now probably the greatest challenge, I would say, as he runs up in the fourth place to the leader. And Jones will be see that dust being kicked up by Grice going on the inside, trying to get as much ground as he can, as quickly as he can. He doesn't want to give Jones a long lead because he won't be able to catch him.
Got himself out a little wide on the corner, Alan Grice. Colin Bond is helping to keep him out there.
He's trailing petrol or something. There's quite a lot of fuel coming out. I think it's fuel, some clear liquid coming out the side as he was cornering home. Just behind Colin Bond. Now he goes past him. There's the difference in power. Goodness me. It was the Capris that always used to do that to the other cars in the under 3 litre series. The side's been advanced by half a litre to attract cars like the big BMW, and hopefully cars of the ilk of the Rover V8, the 3.5, the Commodore 3.3, and other cars that would be suitable to racing and hopefully can be attracted to it. The first one we're seeing, though, is the BMW, which the John Player special team has running for Alan Grice, and he's now up into third place.
Barry Jones holds pride of place, car 41, the RX-7 Mazda. Terry Daly, the Capri, car 12 in second place, and then Alan Grice in the BMW. Colin Bond holding down fourth spot, followed by car 51, Graham Bailey in the Celica.
He's leading the 2 litre cars, Gary. In fact, Peter Williamson, who's been the traditional leader, is back in about 8th place, just in front of Bob Morris in the Gemini with the twin cam. So we've got 2 versions of top-selling cars in Australia, the Toyota with a twin cam engine and the Gemini with a twin cam motor, racing in what could become one of the really most hotly contested categories of motor racing in Australia over the next couple of years, for cars of up to about 2 litre capacity, reflecting in effect the interest in cars of that size by ordinary private buyers.
So it's still Jones, the leader, in the Mazda. Daly and the Capri in second place. The BMW, Alan Grice third. Graham Bailey in fourth spot. That was the former Peter Williamson car, if memory serves me correct. Now sponsored by Chickadee Chicken.
And Graham Bailey from the Gosford area doing exceptionally well. Started off as a rally driver. It was a particularly quick one. Switched to racing. And has been persevering for a couple of years. And towards the end of last season, really began to get up among the frontline contestants.
He's lost his position there, though, to Steve Masterton, who's moved up to lay it down to stablemate Colin Bond in the twin Capris.
And Peter Williamson just going by, and Bob Morris following him. That's the order of those 2 cars further back in the field. In 8th place is Peter Williamson. The leader, though, is Barry Jones in the RX-7.
Notice that Peter Williamson in 7 is being hotly pursued by Bobby Morris in car 7.
Alan Grice has moved up into second place, having dispatched Terry Daly in the Capri, and now Grice has the charge ahead of him. Plenty of time to go. He's still got more than 10 laps in which to catch the leader, and a fairly clear road. There's Peter Williamson now in his newly liveried twin cam Celica Coupe. Nice looking presentation there. And behind him is Bobby Morris in the Channel 7 car, entered by Sutton's Motors, prepared by George Shepherd, the rally maestro who masterminded the Repco 123 for Commodores, and has gone into the race preparation business for Bobby Morris. Had a win in an earlier race, and it's showing that even in its very early stages, it's going to be a very competitive car when they get it thoroughly sorted out. And really, I suspect, figure in some great dices with Peter Williamson, who's turned on some magnificent racing on his own account over the last few years in the Toyota. Well, there's no doubt that Grice is catching Jones now. He'll probably get up to him because of the way he's really flinging that big black German machine around the corners. Whether he'll get by, though, is another matter. He's got time. He's got himself some 9.5 laps.
Plenty of time to do it.
Oh, there's a nice little bit of an excursion. Not exactly where Shane Cowan meant to go, but he's kept it all on the track, waving to a car behind to keep on the left. And now at the rear of the field, having been passed by the Alpha 30s off, still carrying the P plates, which show he's a racing novice, not a novice in terms of a conventional license holder, but that he hasn't as yet completed his mandatory 3 races to qualify him as a non-P plate race driver.
Over the hill, and Alan Grice is really getting himself into position to mount a challenge on Barry Jones at the head of the field. Just in behind them, Terry Daly in the Capri. 2 more Capris following up there from the Masterton stable, Colin Bond and Steve Masterton. Still got a little bit of ground there to make up to challenge Daly for 3rd spot. Out in front, this is the battle. 41 and 11, Barry Jones Mazda and Alan Grice's BMW.
So an imported Japanese sports car versus the German concept. Not quite the same type of car, the BMW more in the luxury mold, but it's fascinating to see this contest between these 2 imports. And Alan Grice really chucking that car around. If you watch the way he goes through the tight bits, not at the top here, this is just sheer speed, where he will probably catch up because he really does appreciate a lot of distance, and he makes up a lot of ground there.
Bob Morris into the pits in the Holden Isuzu car 7.
It's bad luck for George Shepherd and his team, but still I think they've made their point with the early running of this car. It's going to be a force. A bit too much, I suppose, to expect them to do exceptionally well in the first outing. But Bob Morris in the pits, which is one of the stars of the event out. In the meantime, Alan Grice into the banks, into the corners, and into the Mazda, which is...
Do you think he's trying?
I think he's trying. And look how close he is, and he will start making his move. Maybe not this lap, although he'll go pretty close at Winfield, I'd say, which is the next corner, more than the right angle to the right. He'll get as close as he can, but he will leave his charge, I would say, either up the hill where he knows he has the legs. He won't take risks on a dangerous part of the circuit such as that, but either up the hill or maybe down through Mazda, which would be an appropriate part of the circuit to dispose of the RX-7, and Alan has a sense of humour, or else around Honda, which is neutral territory for both of them, and that's a very tight left-hander. But here he goes. He should get close here because he's got the legs, but he may just not get the line. Yes, he's got it. He got by, and he's just flipped in front. And even though Jones is trying hard on the outside, he's lost the lead. Now let's see what he tries, because he doesn't like being passed, and he's going on the inside, and he's about to try and nip on the inside of Alan Grice. No way, though, but he at least showed that he's going to try all the way around.
So now Grice is the man, and he's going to have to withstand pressure from Barry Jones, because Jones is going to put it right to him, you can bet your life. Now through Honda.
Now Jones, as you discovered in your talk with him, Gary, has still been doing a lot of developmental work and reckons he can get more out of the car than he's got.
A lot more.
So we should be in for some great racing. The Capris, it seems, are a bit outgunned this year. They're further back. In fact, Barry Seaton is not even starting, and rather sadly we heard the suggestion that he may be retiring. The heavy cost of motor racing may have put up with a man who's really been an ornament on the game for many years and has been the dominant figure in this category of racing. But unhappily, Bo Seaton, who has won Bathurst and has, as I say, done so well here, is not a starter today.
Won this series last year, and it's a shame that he's not lining up to defend the title. Alan Grice in front. John Player Special BMW, very distinctive black and gold, and in behind the new Mazda RX-7 of Barry Jones, the man that ran the RX-3 here so successfully last year, winning the final round of the series.
Desperately, as you may have gathered from the way he was lifting wheels up, and he's now got a couple of the slower cars to pass him, about to lap them, and they pull over to let him go through. Often a very difficult phase of the race when the drivers about to be lapped don't realise that the field has caught them or the leaders have caught them. But both those Mazdas getting well out of the way to let the two front runners through.
From the top of the field, it's car 11, Alan Grice, holding down first spot, then Barry Jones in the RX-7, car 41. Terry Daly, car 12, the Capri, holding third spot ahead of the Masterton stablemates, car 31, Colin Bond, car 32, Steve Masterton. Then comes car 51, and that's Graham Bailey in the Celica, the Chickadee Chicken Celica, and he's ahead of Peter Williamson.
Further back in the field, Chris Heyer in the new VW Golf. He ran the GTI Golf last year, but it was badly damaged by fire in the pits of Bathurst, as those of you who were watching the Hardy Rally last year will recall. So he has a new machine, campaigning effectively, but a little bit outgunned just in terms of power, because he's only running a 1.6 litre engine, which makes him almost the smallest car here. The Alfa Sud with 1.5 is the smallest. But that's a developing category as well, the race for these cars down around the 1.5 litre mark. The biggest car in the field, though, the new BMW 3.5 litre. But Alan Grice is running in the magnificent, and I suspect very expensive colours of John Player Special. That gold leaf on the side looks real, and with the price of gold, it can be a very circumspect Alan Grice this season, who doesn't want to nudge fenders as he sometimes was inclined to in the past, because it'll cost a lot of money to have to repaint that car. But a beautifully presented vehicle. And still catchable, obviously, in the eyes of Barry Jones.
Yes,
who's
he
trying
hasn't got away, has he, from Jones?
No. Well, Jones realises that Grice was driving very hard to get up to him, and he says, right, if I can keep the pressure, he may just make a mistake. That's all it takes. And while Grice is just pulling away a little bit in some parts and is approaching that part of the circuit where he will go quicker, that is up the hill, up Bitchupave, after CRC Straight, which is the next straight section of Amaroo. Grice will pull away, and it means that Jones has to do the hard work on the parts of the circuit which aren't for the faint-hearted, round the bends and down the hill from Amaroo.
3 laps to go.
Grice is still spilling fuel out of the car. Now, I don't know whether his team manager, Frank Gardner, knows it's a problem, or whether he added so much fuel that the loss that they're making won't count, but just look at the back, you'll see some fuel coming out on the other bends. And if he's running a little bit close to the limit, in other words, only put a marginal amount of fuel on board, it could become a factor.
Most noticeable when he comes down here around past Honda. Still seems to be spilling a little bit, but he's not too concerned about it.
Out it comes, but only a splash, about a couple at that time, and hopefully they'll have had a reserve, and hopefully it'll be enough to get him to the finish. But I'm sure that Barry Jones has spotted it.
So still Grice, Jones and Daly, first 3 spots. Car 32 holding down 4th place now is Steve Masterton. He's edged ahead of Colin Bond and the other Masterton Capri.
It wouldn't do for Alan Grice to become confused as to which BMW he's driving, Gary, because this one's left-hand drive and the turbocharged sports sedan is right-hand drive. So if he went for the gear lever on the wrong side, he'd end up winding the window down.
I don't think Grice will make that sort of mistake somehow.
I was with Johnny Rutherford when he came out to Bathurst for a look at the circuit and drove around with him, and he did that. He hit the window winder, but he'd never driven a car with a steering wheel on the right-hand side. He just stopped and burst into a gale of laughter, and then set off again and equaled the lap record, which wasn't bad for a man having his first look at the circuit. In the meantime, it's Jones, still well within touch, with just a couple of laps to go. What is it, 2 laps to go, or less than an hour, almost about to get their last lap, or I think, or the next time round. 2 laps to go, 2 and a bit. So Barry Jones knows that he's got a lot of work to do in a very short space of time. Out goes the board for those 2 leaders, so this is it. If Jones is going to catch him, he's got to do it in this next 2 kilometres. Behind still Terry Daly, Colin Bond, Steve Masterton. Bailey is the first of the 2 litre cars, and he's running in 6th place. Well, Jones has closed, there's no doubt. He's trying very hard going down. There's Graham. Oh, there's
Willow lost a spot or 2.
Yes, he slowed right down. There's something wrong with Peter Williamson's car.
Off the edge of the track, I think.
I think it's more than that, though. He doesn't seem to have got the pace back on again. He hasn't really had as happy a season recently as he did before.
Jones is in a little bit of difficulty.
Yes, he's not just trailing
No,
fire, he's on fire.
That car is burning.
He's on fire. The car that's second is on fire. There's a fire under the car. Now the winner will go across the line. We can forget Alan Grice. He's on fire and he'll have to get out quickly. You can see the fire beneath. That's not just a rotary blaze. The car is being destroyed. He's got to get out of there quickly. In the meantime, Grice doesn't know what's happening. We're used to seeing cars spurting flame out the back, but he's going for his fire extinguisher, and that little one he's got in the hand is not going to do much good. Flames are out the exhaust as well. Here's the fire marshal now coming to join him. Knocks the cock off the extinguisher, and on comes the flame.
Hi, gee, this is drama for Barry Jones and the new RX-7 that he's campaigning this year in the Better Break Series, and on the last lap of the race, not in a position really to overtake Alan Grice, but contenting himself to hold on to second place. And as they came down into the second last corner, flames appeared under the car. At first it might have been just exhaust, we thought, but by gee, it spread rapidly and caught, and obviously was more serious than that, and that's the end result. You can see car 41, the Darrell Lee RX-7 Mazda.
There's some melted chocolate there, Gary. They noticed how the marshals were very careful not to get the bonnet up, because a few people have made the mistake of opening the bonnet of a burning car and being engulfed in the sudden eruption of flame when the air is let loose on it. So they did it the right way. Now the bonnet goes up, the fire is out. It was probably an engine backfire of some sort. We've seen in the past where the rotaries tend to spit a lot of flame. Maybe he just caught from that because the whole of the engine compartment started to burn, and then we saw flames leaping from the exhaust pipe at the rear.
Terry Daly went off the track also on that last lap. We're nowhere near that sort of difficulty, but that put him out of the running, and you'll find that car 32 has crossed the line in second place. That's Steve Masterton, and the second Masterton Capri driven by Colin Bond. Car 31 has finished in third place, so it's Grice first, and Masterton second, Bond third.
And it was a shock, Alan Grice, who arrived to see the man he'd been racing with stopped on the side of the road and with a very badly damaged car.